Good morning, universe. My name is Mitch Barnett. This is my dog, Katrina Barnett. She's a survivor and I'm a survivor. She survived Hurricane Katrina in Louisiana. I survived Marble Mountain in South Vietnam. I was the last American there in 1970. Today we're going to talk about when I came back from Nam. I actually had a tractor trailer office at 527 Ocean Avenue in Brooklyn. We would enroll students for tractor trailer courses. People would learn how to drive tractor trailers. And I worked at 527 Ocean Avenue, and a fellow that used to work for me that I wanted to hire the toughest guy in the neighborhood, and that was Butch. Butch was the toughest guy in the neighborhood, and we became very good friends. And all the people around in the area of Ocean Avenue in Brooklyn, all the people in the neighborhood, they would actually, they wouldn't move off the stoop. I'm going to make a movie called The Stoop People. All they would do is sit generation after generation and sit on the stoop. So I said to Butch, maybe you could teach me how to, he was in the Green Berets in Vietnam, maybe you could teach me Kung Fu. And, I'd be interested in taking lessons, Kung Fu lessons. So Butch said, let's work together and he'll teach me Kung Fu. He was a tough guy. He was in the Green Berets in Vietnam, and he would actually he would take a knife and we would practice I said to Butch, try to really stab me, and I'd practice taking the knife from him. And this is what we do. We would practice the martial arts. And there was a fellow that worked with Butch, actually was in the Green Berets, and I've seen him actually he was on Lincoln Road when I've seen him, this particular fellow. He says, he says to me, do you know me? Oh yeah, I remember you, your friend, you were in the Green Berets with Butch. He said, yeah, I was at the Green Berets with Butch. He said, why don't you give me some money? I said, I have no money to give you. He said, you have no money to give me? And then all of a sudden, he gets me in a headlock and puts a knife to my throat. He says, I want your money. I want your money. I said, I'm not giving you money. And we started fighting on Lincoln Road, and actually, I grabbed the knife and we were fighting in the street, and it was on the ground, the knife, and actually a storekeeper that worked at the store, the grocery store, he took the knife and he just kicked it into the street, and we ended up with a fight on Lincoln Road. Oh, of course the guy wanted to rip me off, he wanted to kill me, but then he saw that I was fighting with him. He was intimidated. Sometimes you have to fight to stay alive. So that's the way it was. But actually, when I was on Lincoln Road, there was a storekeeper that was check cashing guy that was killed. And I was coming out of a check cashier, I was coming out of a grocery store, and this fellow says, what are you doing in my neighborhood? Get out of my neighborhood. And I'll never forget his face, and I'll never forget who it was. This was Colin Ferguson. He was a mass murderer on the Long Island Railroad. He said, get out of this neighborhood. I said, listen, pal, I was here first. This is my territory. I'm not getting out of the neighborhood. He says, get out of my damn neighborhood. And he was cursing me out. And this turned out to be Colin Ferguson, the mass murderer on the Long Island Railroad. I'll never forget his face as long as I live. It haunted me forever. And then I see there was a mass murder on the Long Island Railroad, and that's when David Dinkins was the mayor. And he killed a lot of people and wounded a lot of people. And this is my story of doing business in Brooklyn, surviving. Surviving is everything. And I am small potatoes compared to my dog. I survived Marble Mountain, Vietnam. The paper says I'm a war hero. This is the real hero, Katrina Barnett. She survived the alligators in Louisiana. She's a real hero. And we're enjoying life, and we tell our stories. This is our story, and I have my neighbor here, Clarabelle, and we're here talking about some of my stories, coming back from Nam and some of the experiences that I had, and this is it. So have a nice day, universe. Thank you.